Today's game is a beloved title for many gamers out there, as Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare represented a huge leap forward in multiplayer gaming. Being a teenager during the exponential boom of online gaming was truly an incredible experience, and for so many of us, this game cemented itself as one of the all-time greats. Is it still worth revisiting today, though? And is it still online? Let's check it out. Released in November of 2007, Call of Duty 4 was an earth-shattering success for developer Infinity Ward on what was only their third Call of Duty game, their third game ever developed as a company since developer Treyarch did Call of Duty 3. Infinity Ward made the bold decision to catapult the series forward in time from the ceaseless recycling of the World War II setting into the present day. Remember that other than the initial 2-year gap between the first Call of Duty and Call of Duty 2, there has been a new Call of Duty game every single year since 2003. Development timelines for these studios were and still are insanely tight. So for these earlier titles, released on what was still newer hardware at the time, to be so critically acclaimed and beloved by the fanbase, that was truly an accomplishment. The fast-paced, snappy first-person shooter combat mixed with the high-powered modern weaponry and aesthetic paired absolutely perfectly with the mid-2000s extreme culture and copious Mountain Dew consumption. Thanks to games like Halo, previous Call of Duty installments, and others, as well as increasing adoption of broadband internet, the competitive online multiplayer scene was exploding during this time, particularly on Microsoft's then-dominant Xbox Live multiplayer service. In fact, Xbox dominated this era of early multiplayer easily in sales, as in the US, the Xbox 360 version of Modern Warfare sold nearly 1.6 million units the month of release, whereas the PlayStation 3 version only moved 444,000 units. That's nearly a 4-to-1 ratio. And likely part of the reason we remember the Green Team being so dominant in this era, considering they also had Halo 3 going strong at the same time. I'm not going to belabor the details of the story too much, partly just to avoid spoilers, but Modern Warfare, as a sort of self-contained side series to the Call of Duty franchise, is considered to have one of, if not the strongest stories in franchise history, with fan-favorite repeat characters and truly insane white-knuckle intensity scenarios, and it all started here with the first game. Call of Duty is typically known for and reminisced on for its revolutionary multiplayer experiences, but Modern Warfare has one of the best single-player campaigns you're going to find in a war-themed first-person shooter from this era. It's worth picking up the first 2 Modern Warfare games for the story alone. Quick aside before we get into the game's presentation, if you like videos like this one, consider liking the video, it helps out a lot, and I've got playlists in the description with more just like this. You can subscribe if you want to keep up with future uploads as well. Alright, let's get back to it. Modern Warfare isn't a bad-looking game, don't get me wrong, but Infinity Ward properly prioritized performance when developing this title, and allowed the visual appeal of the game to come from its fluidity instead of its resolution. The game renders at a mere 1024 by 600 or 600p, and it certainly shows. This is not the sharpest looking Xbox 360 game you're going to find, not by a good margin, but it also doesn't really need to be. Call of Duty 4 was all about capturing the intensity of fast-paced, frenetic combat and intense scenarios, as well as maintaining high frames per second in multiplayer combat to allow players to maximize their skill expression in competitive play without technical limitation, and they nailed that. Beyond that, the game looks fine. It's passable but not impressive, and the story is immersive enough that the shortcomings are hardly felt as you rip through the game. Call of Duty 4 was a truly innovative title, introducing a number of series staples that persisted with the series. In online play, we saw the first prestige system here, which admittedly wasn't my favorite, as it's more of an indication of time spent over skill. And although this isn't my preferred system, understand that during these early days, your rank mattered. I still remember when Halo 2 first came out, before they rebalanced the rank distribution, and I got to level 16 for the first time and got my horns, as we called it, due to the appearance of the logo. That got me some serious cred with the boys. And it's not that multiplayer as a whole was brand new, but this was the era where it truly became accessible and mainstream. It was exploding, and this was the thing to be doing for teens due to the success of Halo 2, Halo 3, and this game, in no small part. They also implemented the kill streak reward system here to encourage players to hone their skills. Maintaining great kill-death ratios meant you could snowball victories, and that was a truly satisfying feeling that became addictive as you played more and more. There is, unfortunately, an elephant in the room regarding the gameplay. The single-player campaign is really solid, fully playable, and reason enough to pick up this game still. It's cheap. That said, multiplayer was, and could still be, the main allure of someone wanting to revisit this classic. And that's where there's some questionable information that I want to caution you on. See, the servers are still up, and you can choose to pay, $10 a month or whatever it costs now, to play online on Xbox 360 with others. It's not poppin' like it used to be, but it's online and you can find matches. I know this is an Xbox 360 review, but I want to just drop a word of caution as it sounds like people can remote activate exe files on your PC if you connect to the old Modern Warfare servers via PC. And I couldn't verify 100% if it was exclusively on PC, or if there are security issues with the 360 version as well. It seems isolated to PC, but I'm not positive, and I have to be cautious of what I'm recommending to you as a reviewer. There's also rampant cheating, some of which does seem to splash over into the Xbox 360 version that can ruin your experience. So without perfect information, I can't in good faith recommend that you engage with the multiplayer, though it is still available. Just do your own research to determine your personal comfort level and whether it's worth spending the money to you. The 360 version is, again, likely fine to engage with from a purely safety perspective, though you may still encounter cheaters, but I wouldn't touch the PC version with a 10-foot pole at this point. Alright, back to some good news. I'm happy to report that we maintain essentially a rock-solid 60 frames per second during both multiplayer gameplay and the single-player campaign. This was the highest priority going into development for Infinity Ward, and they correctly invested their attention into ensuring that this was the smoothest possible experience on the newer hardware. They nailed it. And the lightning-fast combat, fluidity of motion, and ultra-fast response times are what the series became known for with the release of this title, and was a big part of why it became so popular. It just felt great to play, without the technical limitations of the Xbox holding back the experience or breaking your immersion. While the online multiplayer experience is a shadow of what it used to be, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare is still a title that's worth having in the collection. It's a beloved piece of gaming history, the single-player campaign is awesome, and the gameplay is smooth and responsive, just like you remember it. It even opens the door to picking up the sequels to continue the journey. The next 2 Modern Warfare games are on 360. I do recommend grabbing this one. It's a great time. Just maybe do a little research before you plug in that Ethernet cord. I'm not responsible for what happens there, but again, I think it's probably fine on Xbox 360. I do appreciate you sticking around to the end. Check out the playlist in the description for more videos like this, and thanks again for stopping by.